So in this series, we looked at Luke and his gospel and how he portrays the birth of Jesus, and how we can really see in the book of Luke that he talks. The message of Luke is Jesus came for all of us, for everyone. Matthew, it's a little bit different. Matthew was written to Jewish people, maybe Jewish believers, but I think it was more to Jewish people in general, because he mentions all the fulfilled prophecy. It's almost an apologetic, almost saying, see, this is your Messiah. See, this is your Messiah. See, this is your Messiah. This is done to fulfill this. This is done to fulfill this. It's done to fulfill this. And it's amazing to look at all the prophecies that Jesus fulfilled in his life, in his birth and in his life. Matthew focuses on Joseph. Well, Luke focuses on Mary, and Matthew focuses on Joseph. He's the man of the house. It's more of a Jewish way, first century Jewish way, I should say. And in Matthew, it's always in dreams that angels speak. Now, it's significant. This is a significant difference. There are angels in both Luke and in Matthew's account, but the angels in Matthew's accounts, they're awoken up from a dream, or in a dream they're told by an angel where to go and what to do. Very, very first century Jewish. Now, remember, Luke wrote for everybody. And in the Greek world, it was absolutely nothing for, gods to appear, at least in literature. There is that expectation that the gods would come and appear to them. So angels filling the heavens are appropriate. It's appropriate to mention those kind of things. Now, I'm not saying, please don't think I'm saying that Luke wrote and left out details to focus on a particular people group. No, he wrote to a particular people group in ways that they would understand and grasp. Okay, it's a good thing that he did it. It's a good thing Matthew did it the way he did it. Now, Luke places Jesus in world history. Matthew places Jesus in Jewish history. The genealogy in Matthew starts off right in Matthew 1, goes from Abraham up to Jesus. And there's 14 generations, 14 generations, 14 generations. And here's where things get a little bit tricky, because we don't understand first century Jewish hermeneutics in that, there wasn't just 14 people, 14 generations between all those different things, but Matthew made it work. Now, we need to understand that this was completely justifiable in the context of the original listeners. This made sense to the people in first century Palestine, that 14 was more important than being historically accurate, okay? So, don't let it bother you, okay? There's the other thing that can really upset people. The prophecy that he says, and thus fulfills the prophecy that he shall be called a Nazarene, most likely comes from Isaiah 11:1. I say most likely because the word Nazarene, the city Nazareth, was never mentioned in the Old Testament. It's never in Hebrew scriptures. It's not there. There is no prophecy saying he shall be called a Nazarene. In Isaiah 11:1, it talks about the branch, and the branch is very similar to the word for Nazarene. And so that's where scholars think it came from. But, and again, I'm saying it, Matthew used a hermeneutic, used a way to understand scripture in a way that was appropriate to the original listeners. They would have understood. They would not have had the issues that we have today, because they understood interpreting scripture in a way that we don't interpret it any longer, okay? Just giving you the heads up. Hope it doesn't disturb you too much. Now, Matthew also includes royalty. He talks about King Herod quite a bit. The gifts that the Magi brings are gifts for a king. The gold, the frankincense, the myrrh. They are kingly gifts. The star guided the Magi along the way. Now, understand that signs in the heaven were generally regarded for a king, or a newborn king, or, a battle was going to be won by a king. The stars guided the movement of the king, and that's significant here in our discussion. And by the way, the Magi came to a house, not the manger. Excuse me. Don't let nativity scenes bother you. It came to a house. Now, we don't know. It says that the The stars settled above the house where they were at, and they came in with exceeding joy. Now, we don't know if it was an alignment of planets that were there that drew them. We don't know if this was later on that night. It might have been they gave birth in the manger. And then, the person that got them in the manger said, oh, come into the house, you've got a baby. We don't know if this was a long time later, because remember, Herod killed the 2-year-olds. He wanted everyone dead that was under 2. Now, he might have done that just to be really thorough and make sure that, if the Magi were off a little bit, that he got everybody. It could be that the Magi started out their journey when the star first appeared, and then the star reappeared when they were coming up to the house. We don't know. Doesn't really matter. The Armenian infancy gospel tells us a lot more than that, but again, that was written well after the time of the original gospels. Anyway, what Matthew reminds us of. Remember, Luke reminds us that Jesus came for all. Matthew reminds us that Jesus came to be our King. Now, often when we talk about that, we talk about Jesus being the King as if we have to obey him. When he's King, we don't have a choice but to obey him, really. He's either Lord of all, or if he's not Lord of all, he's not Lord at all. But so I don't want to focus on that. Like, what if instead of him being a king, it's not about our allegiance to the king, but what about if it's the king's commitment to us? Let's just consider that for a few moments. The king provides identity. There is no kingdom in the ancient world that is made up of one nationality. Like, even David had Hittites and had all these different people from all these different places that were drawn to him as the king, and he provided the identity. Today we have nation states. Nation states is a modern idea. It hasn't been around that very long. Before, it was all tied up in the king. The king was the nation, and people got their identity from the king. They got the protection from the king. They get their provision from the king, and they get justice from the king. Our king is a good king. He provides good justice. He provides good provision. He provides good protection. He provides good identity. And really, that's an amazing thing to consider this Christmas time. Our challenge, do we let Jesus be our king? Do we let him define our identity? Do we let him protect us? Do we let him provide for us? Do we let him provide justice for our cause? I really encourage you to do that today. It's a tough thing sometimes, because we want to pick it up. We want to prove ourselves right. We want to do it all ourselves. That's what our culture says, and it's good in some ways, but really, we can't do God's job. It's his job to do. Let him do it.